Hello everybody, it is Deltre bringing you what could very well be the final part of our Fire Emblem Maniac mode, Path of Radiance, whatever, playthrough. And oh man, it's been a long journey to get here, I'll tell you that much. On the last part, we finally discovered the truth behind what it is exactly that is causing these feral lagoos. I kind of poked fun at the way that they actually reveal this information to us, just because it's really obvious that the artists that created the CG effect weren't actually able to express everything that was to be implied, if that makes sense. I completely understand that. I know that Fire Emblem is a T-rated game and whatnot. You know, I really don't expect them to go into M territory just for that. But in defense of the game, there's actually a little bit more to it than that. Somebody was kind enough to post a completely unobscured picture of the CG that displayed in that previous cutscene at the end of the last chapter. And if you look closely, you can see some blood. You can see tufts of fur attached to those chains that we saw. And it is a pretty dark depiction of what's going on, I suppose. When you consider that it's a T-rated game, it is a pretty fair depiction. I think the bigger problem is that a lot of the image is obscured by text boxes and the like. So that really didn't do this scene any favors. But no, honestly, I completely get what was going on. It's very heavily implied that this was some sort of area where either captured lagoos would be tortured, or perhaps they would be chained up there after experimentation, or just, you know, things of that nature. It is very dark. It is very dark. It's just a little bit funny to me, given the reaction of the party versus what's actually displayed on screen. Now, I'm going to stop talking because this is likely to be a very long one. At least for me, I might split this into two parts. I honestly haven't decided yet. It really just depends on how long it takes to put Ashnard down. And that's exactly what we're going to be doing today. The Crimean Royal Palace, located in the center of Melior, is famed for its beautiful gardens where the world seems at peace. But times have changed. Countless battles have raged in these idyllic confines, and a new Dark Lord now sits upon the throne. God, they make it sound like he's some sort of Sith. The palace itself has not suffered. It remains a study in dignity and elegance. Yet there is no peace on this day. A grim tension fills the air, engulfing all it touches in deafening silence. Look at him, he's just cheesing. Within the heart of the palace sits the author of this war, Ashnard, King of Dayin. Why? Who knows? And there's our boy right there. And our girl to an extent. Ike, Supreme Commander of the Crimean Army, and Elincia, Princess of Crimea, have completed their battle preparations. Now they spend a tense morning waiting for the decisive battle that would conclude their year-long odyssey. So this game takes place over a year. Okay. I like that it does provide some sort of timeline for this, but if Dayin is so awesome and badass, how did they get pushed away in a single year? I don't know if I buy it. They wait for the beginning of the end. That kind of just makes Dayin sound pretty sad, doesn't it? Maybe it's just me. Endgame, repatriation, let's go. Really, we're just right to it. Okay. Well, hey, that works for me, man. That works for me. Let us start by using our last bonus experience here. Okay, yeah, we can definitely start with this. Ike's support backpack needs a good one here. Hit point, speed, defense. Okay, we'll take it. We will take it. Can we do another? No, not even close. Yeah, let's give it to Braum. He turned out to be a fun little experiment. I was a little bit sketched, but he did all right. I'm not very good at using armor knights, I'll be honest, but more defense, that's awesome. And 16 speed might keep him from being doubled by some of the slower enemies. And like I said, 23, 25 if I leave him with the Night Ward. That's not bad defensively at all. I guess let's just do every support that we have, right? I mean, why not? It's the last map, man. How are you feeling, Reese? Sorry, I get that wrong often. Good, no fevers are shaken today. Thanks for asking. You know, I was just thinking about the first time we met. It was almost a year ago to this very day. Now, how can that be? Come on, Titania, it's been a year since we left. So you mean to tell me that you met Reese a day before he was inducted into the Grail Mercenaries? Was it really? Oh, you're right. My, time does fly. Of course, I don't remember much of the initial encounter since I was unconscious and bleeding. Remember that? I don't know why we didn't bring a healer with us that day. Fighting bandits without a staff? Not smart. It was lucky that I found you. I didn't usually venture that deep into the forest, but I was short on medicinal herbs. Yeah, those bandits were a rough lot. Their stomping ground was right near your village, actually. It's all coming back to me now. They were tougher than I thought. We took most of them out with ease, but one fled into the woods and I gave chase. Big mistake. Titania brought down by a bandit. I don't know. Seems kinda sketch. My horse got hung up in the undergrowth and that bandit got the drop on me. At least Shinon hit him before I was killed. Yeah, Gotri and Shinon were both really worried when they brought you back to my parents' house. Well, Gotri was. Really? I didn't know that. I didn't think Shinon ever worried about anyone. But they stayed with me until my wounds were healed. I remember that. You know, if it wasn't for you... Oh my gosh. You know, if it wasn't for your good work, I wouldn't have been able to use an axe anymore. I really appreciate it. So does Deltre, believe me. No, I should thank you. You convinced Grail to hire me. And now I can send money back to my parents. They're both so old and I'm their only source of income. Your parents were very kind, especially your mother. And she made that great wildberry pie. To repay their kindness, I will protect their only son, no matter what. Oh, I appreciate that, Titania. So we learned a little bit about Reese. I guess he's probably like the newest member then, wouldn't he be? Right, because if it was... I'm assuming that you're sort of expected to get this support very early, so it would be a year before the start of the game that he joined. Or something like that. That's the impression I get. So he must be one of the newest members. And it seemed like maybe he's sick, because he brought up how he wasn't feeling all that bad. And I know at the very beginning of the game he mentioned he was sick, but I thought that was just like circumstance. So does he have some sort of illness maybe? I don't know. I kind of wish I would have gotten to see more about Reese, to be honest. He seems interesting. Who goes there? Don't be so alarmed. I'm one of yours. One of ours? Unlikely. Yes, one of your kind. I see that you pretend to be something that you aren't and have lived among foreigners. Oh good, we're actually gonna hear about this a little bit. I see that I puzzled you. I'll let you stew on what I've said. Let's sit and talk next time our paths cross. Oh, or not. Okay. Okay, I guess we're not learning about that. Well, I'll get to that right now, I guess. So if you don't want to wait until Radiant Dawn to find out what this is about, I assume they must bring it up in that game if they don't bring it up in this game. I honestly don't know. But I said that I would explain this, and we're at the end of the game, so here we go. If you don't want to hear about it, just skip. I don't know, a few minutes, I guess. I don't know what to tell you. At any rate, the deal with Soren and why he's such a douche is the fact that he is the child of both a human and a Laguz, so he has what is known as a brand. You can see it right there on his forehead. It's really interesting that more people don't call him out on that. That's what that is, right? That's what it is. That's like a symbol of the fact that he's the result of a union between a human and a Laguz, because he is a branded. That's what they are called officially. They are branded. And they're not well liked at all. Branded are heavily persecuted. Just really, I would say they're even worse off than Laguz are. Because at least straight up Laguz have Crimea that is sort of like an ally to Laguz. Or at least it was historically. But Branded are just disliked by both races. So they tend to want to hide that fact about themselves. And as you might have guessed from the conversation between Stefan and Soren there, Stefan is also a Branded. And they have some unique traits about them. I'm not entirely sure what all it is. I think they don't age at the same rate. So God only knows how God only knows how old Soren actually is. He looks like a kid, but he could very well be, 40, 50, 60, who knows? I honestly have no clue. But unfortunately, it doesn't look like we learned about that through the game itself. I feel like I should mention it because I said I would. Do I want to give Nephany and Braum or Nephany and Zihart? I don't know. I'll think about that. But one that we can do is Rolf and Shinon, because why not? Uncle Shinon, wait, Uncle Shinon. I'm not your uncle, kid. Haha, look at this. Why are you showing me this? It's just a piece of bent wood. No, Shinon, it's a bow. You gave me my first bow, and I wanted to return the favor. I'm making it one whittle at a time. I know it's not exactly the best-looking weapon out there, but I hope you'll use it. Ha, not a chance, kid. Maybe if I overhauled it, maybe I'd be able to call it a bow. This thing is gonna break the first time I fire it. You want me to be the... you want me to be unarmed on the battlefield? Is that it? Huh? What's your deal, kid? What's the damage? Jeez, I didn't realize. Look, to begin with, you used the wrong kind of wood. This is much too hard and inflexible. Remember the bow I made for you? It didn't look like this, did it? Come on, you're so stupid. What are you, 8? Well, actually, yeah, I kind of am. I worked so hard. It should be just like yours. Not even close. Not even... Ah, crud, don't start balding. Look, let me give you a quick lesson. What? Really? Promise? Oh, I'm so happy. Yay, I love you, Unky Shinon. I can't do this. Yeah, it's a promise. Just never say that again. Now quit clinging to me like a lost dog. No, seriously, Rolf. So that's supposed to make us like Shinon, I guess, but no, he's still an unrelenting dick as far as I'm concerned. Haha. Kidding. If you like Shinon, then more power to you. Well, I'll do Braum and Nephany. Howdy, Nephany. Well, hello there, Braum. I was just talking to one of those younger fellas. He said you don't talk much to other people. That's because I'm a country girl and I'm embarrassed. What are you embarrassed about? There's nothing wrong with country. You know, I have a heavy accent. They'll make fun of me. I can't talk well like you, Braum. Are you kidding me? Oh, that's oh, that's cow plopping. You know it. Everyone in this army is so dang nice, they wouldn't even laugh at you. Don't be so uptight. Just pretend you're back in your own village. You smile whenever we talk, right? Oh, you have a beautiful smile. It's a shame that you hide it. Come on, try smiling now. Alright. Come on now, smile. Smile! Oh, Braum, it's embarrassing. Like this? That's right, that's it. Yeehaw! That's the smile I want to see. You're a good-looking girl, Nephany. The young fellas in the company won't leave you alone if you keep on doing that. Say, why don't you find a nice guy here and take him back to the village? So stop, Braum. I'm embarrassed. Jeez. She's really just, like, no confidence at all. No confidence at all. That's why I kind of wanted to see if I could get the Khalil one, because it seemed like maybe she was coming out of her shell a little bit with that. I don't know. That was a nice little resolution to that arc, I suppose, though. That seems like that's everyone. That's every single support we could possibly do. Let's talk to Friend. I brought her, Nasir. Yeah, that's right. Start apologizing, kid. Yeah, that's what I thought. I'm sorry, miss. I knew how much the medallion meant to you, and I stole it nevertheless. No matter the words I used to apologize, I did something unforgivable. Also, I gave the medallion containing the Dark God to the one person who would actually be dumb enough to try and release it. My bad. I gained your trust in Ike's and betrayed it. Then I compounded my dishonor by fleeing. I'm so very sorry. This bitch. Oh no, thanks for coming back, Nasir. I wanted to see you again, and I'm glad I did. Welcome back. Miss, I do not deserve your kindness. Miss, please allow me to apologize as well. I'm the one who is truly at fault here. What Nasir did, he did for me. I'm sure there's some very important reason for all of this, and it's probably still unresolved. I'm honestly quite curious. Plus, I want to help, but I doubt that I can. So I'm gonna wait. I've decided to wait until the two of you can tell me about whatever it is, so you don't need to worry about it anymore, alright? Thank you, miss. Thank you. I don't know if Ike really... I don't know how Ike really feels about all that. I guess he was probably doing that more for Mist than anything else. Ha! No, actually, I'm Hulky. Shut up. So tomorrow's the day we take on the capital. I'm ready. Woo! It doesn't matter how hard the fight you're facing might be. I always feel excited the night before. I'd like to tell you how wrong that is, but I can't. I can't seem to calm my nerves either. We're gonna win, you know. King Dayan won't survive the day. I wonder. Are you two on guard duty? Oh, it's you. Hey, Ike. Do you have some need of the king? Yeah, will you tell him I'm here? We will. Wait here. Waiting. Ah, here we go. So, tomorrow it is. Did you come by to check on our preparations? And racing too, it looks like. Whoa, what is happening to my frame rate? Hold on. I hope it hasn't been like that. Okay, I think we're good now. Sorry about that. You know me too well. You're going to circle the capital to ensure that no airborne enemies escape. That's clear, isn't it? Yes, I think that encircling the capital is a good idea. God, Tabarn on the anti-air duty. Wouldn't want to face this guy, that's for sure. We'll guard the west and take care of airborne combat as well. The Phoenix and Kilvas armies are unbeatable in that regard. I should imagine, yeah. Kilvas is gonna help out? Of course. After what we saw in the dungeons of Gritnia Tower, we all agreed that King Ashnard must pay. Racing and Leanne helped to sway certain opinions. Gee, I wonder who. It was tough, but in the end we understood what needs to happen. That having been said, the crows are traitorous by nature. If worst comes to worst, it may just be us hawks out there. That will be enough. At least I know I can rely on you. Well, to be perfectly honest, I wouldn't mind a chance to remove Ashnard's head from his shoulders. It's just like the time I fought the Black Knight. You're being kept away from the main fight. My apologies, Hawk King. That's alright. But if you find yourself overwhelmed, just give me a call. Understood. Will do. And as for you, Racin, I'm sure you're tired of hearing this, but... I know. Be careful. Don't die. Don't worry, I won't die. That's such horrible advice. By the way, Racin, don't die. Oh, yeah, thanks, Tabarn. I'm not gonna leave Leanne and my father all alone. He does his best. Next thing, it appears they're discussing tomorrow's battle. Shouldn't you join them? No, I think not. It's just Tabarn, after all. He doesn't really want help from Kilvas anyways. The Hawk King may not care, but Prince Racin would surely feel that you had betrayed him yet again, Nestling. What? Oh, and dear Lady Leanne as well. If you were to flee in the face of the enemy, it would break her heart. Oh, it would be so sad. Oh, why am I laughing? Senile old crow. You think if you bring those two into it, I'll do as I've been told and fight? Curse you. Yeah, I think you will, Naysala, that's right. This war has been waged for over a year, but it could all be over by midday tomorrow. How do you feel, Ike? Think we'll win? We'll win. I knew you'd say that. Haha. You don't fool me anymore. But even so, I appreciate your bravado tonight. Without such courage, it would be impossible to face King Dayan. Master Gifka, whoa, dude. Personal space. What are you doing here? The king felt uneasy knowing you were here on your own. I come in his name. So are you gonna fight with us? That is my purpose. That is if Lord Ike grants his permission. Nah. Wait, I mean, of course. Dayan army is large, so we're gonna be attacking them from the front and holding the two eastern gates. I'd be very appreciative if you would agree to take command of that front. If that is your wish, I can but agree. What's this now? You weren't satisfied with the work I was doing? I mean, I know that I'm no Master Gifka, but please. Ranulf, I want you to be with me. Is that alright? Well, Ike, this is all very sudden, but god damn it, Ranulf. Sure, that would be fine. Getting to be part of the main pack is the highest of honors. Master Gifka. It's been a long time. How's the king? He's in good health. The king has given me a message for you two. A message, not orders? That's right. He said to be sure that you make it home alive. And he said that your work in the past years has been most satisfactory and that he's sincerely grateful to you both. That's such an honor. We have fought hard, but it wasn't a bother. Ike and the others are good Beork. We are happy to fight with them. I see. Yeah, put in a good word for us, Morty. Oh man, that very well may be it. That very well may be it. I guess I'm just gonna do some item management. Alright, we're going on to the final chapter, guys. Here we go. Oh, this is new. Just listening to the music. Yeah, I don't think we've heard this anywhere else. I kind of like it. Very sobering. Princess, it's time.
It's right there. I can see the capital. Father, mother, my lord uncle, your Elincia has returned. Our soldiers are in formation and awaiting your word, Princess. For good or ill, this will be our final battle. Before they march, would you speak to them? What? You want me to address the troops?
This fight will determine if Ashnard falls and if we can all return to our beloved homeland. Today, Princess, we risk all. Giving men the courage to fight is the duty of a leader.
I don't know how well I'll do, but I will try. Ahem. Hear me, brave fighting men of Crimea. Much have you lost in service to your land. Hear me, beloved friends of the Lagoos. You too have given all for our fair cause. Hear me, my trusted company of old. You men of Grail did see me to this day. I stand before you made of flesh and bone, alive because you risked your lives for me. A word cannot my thanks express in kind. We march today in the jaws of fate. Our enemy lies in wait o'er this hill. If on the morrow Ashnard lives no more, my fondest dream is to among you walk, and give you each my heartfelt thanks anew. Let not this dream dissolve into despair.
Really? Really? Okay, hold on. Google, help me out. Is that a correct spelling? Please tell me I'm just ignorant. Nope, that is in fact a typo. Come on now. Although to be fair, if we've gone this long into the game without me finding any typos, or at least none that I can remember off the top of my head, I guess. But come on. Come on, man. That threw off my pace.
We will defeat the dreaded King of Dayan. We will reclaim this land we hold so dear. Lend me your strength. Lend me your weary hearts. Today we make our fate good for all.
For good and all.
One life can make a mark upon this world. One life can move the wheel of history. Be that one life. Fight well. Fight brave. Fight true.
Hey, not bad, Elincia. Not bad. Seems like maybe you've been hanging out with Bastion a little bit, but for what I'm assuming is an off-the-cuff speech. Yeah, where did that come from? That was magnificent. It seems the princess too has grown stronger. It's said we go into the roles we're given, isn't it? Elincia will make a splendid queen. That's just what Nasir said. What? It's true. Stop it. Don't get me. Rodolphe is the best. Nasir said it right. Oh, that's a relief. I thought the world had gone mad. Stupid cat. I think that's the best response possible. Alright, let's go. This ends today. I'm ready. I have everything I need. Very well, we're ready.
Say, Ike, this is the end of the end, you know. So rather than just giving orders, why don't you say a word too?
I think Princess Elincia said enough.
I want to hear what you have to say, brother. Father always did it, didn't he?
You want me to say something like Father would have done?
Uh-huh.
Well, I do believe his last words were... Sorry, too soon. Speak to the army or don't speak to the army. Is there any reason that I wouldn't? What happens if I say no? Let's be a dick. No, that's not me. I'm not going to do it. What? How boring. I'm perfectly happy being boring. Come on, it's time to go.
What else can we do? He's just being Ike after all. I suppose we should go too.
I'm glad I picked that option. Okay, but for real, let's do it. Hey there. What's up? Before this final battle, there's only one thing I want to tell all of you. I don't want any of you dying on me. Remember, you have only one life. This is Fire Emblem after all. At a time like this, it doesn't matter what our blood ties are. We are family. That's what my father always used to say. And today, for the first time, I understand why he said it. Because we are a family. So if you don't want to cause your family any grief, then live. Don't drop your guard. Don't turn your back. Use every drop of your strength. Our road has been long, but it ends today. Let's liberate Crimea and free our friends and our families from Daeon's tyranny. Men of Crimea, Lagoons of Tellius, Grail mercenaries, move out! That's how we do it. Hell yeah! Like, Elincia just in the back, like, oh, I guess don't really care about my speech. Way to show me up, Ike. Jeez. Crimea Castle, here it is, the final station, folks. Attack! We're being attacked! The castle gate is fallen. The Crimean army cannot be stopped. It appears the end is near. Your Majesty, please use the rear gate and withdraw. We will cover your retreat. I'm not leaving. But if we lose your Majesty, the Daeon royal bloodline itself would be lost. Are you saying I will lose? Is that what you wish to say? Of course not. However, our army is in dire straits. It is merely an act of prudence, Your Majesty. I humbly ask that you consider the continuance of the bloodline above all else. Of course, your judgment. The value of the 13th generation of Daeon's royal family is not so high as to warrant your pathetic display. I am Daeon. If I'm to be destroyed, then I let Daeon be destroyed with me. Your Majesty, that is... I have no need of inconsistent retainers. Of inconstant retainers, rather. You are an obstacle. Away with you. But Your Majesty, my sole desire is to rule through strength. The weak perish and the strong live on. This is the law of nature. It is the law of the goddess herself created when she forged this world. It appears that further conversation would only be a waste of time. Though even if His Majesty desires it not, I will remain and protect him. I cannot allow the legacy of Daeon to end here. Tell me, Bryce, you were my father's retainer, were you not? From the 15th year of my life, and for 20 more years until his death, I did serve him faithfully. The thing that killed my father was not plague, nor was it another illness. It was me. What? Oh, but it doesn't end there. There was my stepmother, too, and every brother who stood to be a legitimate heir. All of them died by my hand. Are you still determined to protect me, knowing this truth? I am. Even knowing now as I do, you are still your father's son. The blood of Daeon's king flows in you. You are all that remains. By your leave. Such loyalty to a corpse. In truth, there is nothing in this world more humorous than a knight. I was gonna say heinous for some reason. So yeah, Ashnard the dick. Still not really sure why he did what he did. Why he's doing any of this. Hey, look out.
Is that...
Oh no, please, stay right there, please. Just stay right there. Don't make me play this map. Elincia, what are you doing? Get back.
Ashnard.
What did you say? That is the King of Daeon? It's been a long time, Princess Crimea. You look quite different than you did the day that I cut your father and mother down like cattle. I can hardly believe you're the same little girl who did nothing but tremble and stare at me.
You Craven. I've returned to see you defeated. I will no longer allow you to treat Crimea any way you please.
How brave and noble of you. However, you are not the one I seek. Ooh! Shoulder check. Ah! Elincia. Are you the one they claim is the son of Gavain? King Ashnard of Daeon, your treachery dies on my blade. Well, you're not wrong. Oh ho! I see that blade in your hand. It is a sacred blade, is it not? The only type of blade that can pierce my armor. It matters not how famous the blade, if the wielder lacks skill. The greatest sword is nothing but blunted steel. Don't worry, You'll see for yourself how blunt it is. I expect good things from you, son of Gawain. What you see before you are my elite hand-picked soldiers. How will you deal with them? I'm looking forward to watching you. Don't disappoint me. Hold! Nah, I'm gonna fly away now. Make you play this map. Oh, son of a... If you want to fight me so bad, fight me. I mean, really? Oh, this doesn't look so bad, though. I mean, it looks pretty bad. Oh, I just now saw those cats in the middle. I thought that sage was by himself. They blend right in. Damn, they're getting smart. They're using camouflage. Any of you whose arms remember what it's like to step to battle, step forth. I would take of your strength now. So Nasir is actually forced. I kind of understand why this is, though. As the cutscene and what everything has been telling us up to this point would imply, Ike is really the only Beorc that can actually harm Ashnard at all. But for whatever reason that's never really explained, Nasir can also do it with his Dragon Breath. Don't ask me why. Enoch can also damage him. Couldn't tell you as to why this is. Have no idea, to be honest. Now, at this point, it's got to be the best of the best. Oh, Elincia, you've got to sit out, unfortunately. Honestly, I might have brought her under different circumstances. Let's do Jill. All right, I guess we're as ready as we're ever going to be. Oh, come on, not now, Elincia. I'm doing the thing here.
My lord Ike, I will go and command our forces battling day in the city streets. I will see you once it is all done.
Very well. Leave King Ashnard to me.
Understood.
I assume that only happens because I didn't bring her along. Because... Alright, here we go. So I kind of decided what I want to do, at least on the first turn, and hopefully it all works out. I'm going to have Khalil fry this cat, first of all. Titania's going to take the left-hand side, while Marcia distracts these paladins over here, because I don't want them to overwhelm the rest of my units. Yes, just enough. Just barely enough. Now, these cats are incredibly fast. Now, Titania has almost no chance of doubling. Maybe if I reset for long enough, you know, something could be worked out. But for right now, we're going to have to deal with this. I don't know how many of these guys I really want to take on just yet. Probably just the first bow user. Or do I risk a dodge? Do I even risk the dodge? I know we're starting off with math, which is great. But these guys would have about 30. That guy must be high by rhythm. Oh, man. I don't think I want to take on all of these guys right off the bat, to be honest. So we're going to equip the spear. I don't know if it's going to be enough damage. It's really not going to be, but it's really my best way to go. First of all, I'm in range of this guy. I'm actually not. Okay, no, this works, I suppose. I'm going to be hitting 3 of them. That's about as good as it gets, honestly. With Stefan, let's go ahead and attack this cat. Oh, this might be such a bad move, though. Might be a horrible move. This bolting guy, no, the blizzard guy, rather, can't hit Stefan if I attack the cat. And I think I can reduce him low enough that Stefan can kill without having to take a hit. Yeah, I totally can. So that's how we're going to start this. Astrid brings him low, and then Stefan can perfectly pick him off from there. Honestly... No, I'll move her away just a little bit. Soren's going to blow the last bolting on this dragon right here. Let me get in support range just for accuracy. Yeah, we'll blow the last bolting right here. On second thought, yeah, I should have left Astrid behind where Stefan's going to end up, because I may end up having to rescue him out of the way. I don't really want to take on all those generals and all those halberdiers, because you guessed it, every halberdier has a short spear. Every halberdier has a short spear. Also, all of these wyverns have 1 to 2 range as well. All of these wyverns have 1 to 2 range as well. Not so much on the paladins, though, believe it or not. They have bows, which is a little bit more excusable. For Ike, we can just send him right in, honestly. I am going to have to deal with this guy, potentially anyways. I might not have to. I might not have to. It really just depends. If I can somehow silence him, that would be hilarious. I brought it along just to try. Oh boy, a whopping 37. I might as well go for it. There's absolutely nothing else I'm going to be doing with the silent staff. Did I hit? I totally did. All right. We're looking good. So there goes bolting, which would have been otherwise a huge thorn in my side, no doubt. Sweet. That's going to take a lot of pressure off, actually. I guess it doesn't matter. We'll just move Ike to his fullest. Like I say, the less time I have to spend in this chapter, the better. Absolutely. Too much 1-2 range. Way too much 1-2 range. And I guess the only question remaining would be what to do about the rest of these units. Oh, I was kind of explaining this, but Nasir is forced in the off chance that for whatever reason I can't take on Ashnard. It's the most logical thing I can think of, which makes sense. It's good that they actually thought that far ahead. But your Ike would have to be really, really screwed to have no chance against Ashnard. Somebody told me that with Wrath plus Resolve, if Ike crits, he actually just one-shots Ashnard, which is hilarious. I honestly have no idea what I'm doing with half of these units. They just can't contribute. They just can't. But I do know that I want Ike and Oscar to go right up the middle. So here come the siege tomes. Only this guy can hit me. I can see that my frame rate is going to crap. Nope, it looks like it came back. Thank God. Oh, nice! Okay, we're back. You guys missed absolutely nothing of importance. So for whatever reason, every single one of my USB drives decided to fail at the same time. So that was fun. That was a lot of fun. I really hope that doesn't happen as we continue this chapter. That would just be really unfortunate. I'd be very salty if that were the case. I'm really wishing that Bastion had the Elfire right about now. Really am. I can get that to him, though, actually. I can get it over to him. How much would I even deal, though? These guys are so tanky. Well, one thing I definitely want to do is prevent the rest of those wyverns from approaching the middle. Gosh, she dodges another one. That's really lucky. I didn't need that by any stretch of the imagination. I'm just going to use the Ashira staff this turn, to be honest. There goes the Laguz axe. I want to draw these Wyvern Lords away from the rest of my characters, absolutely. 100%. So I'm going to move right about there. Now, what would be the next move to make here? I'm pretty sure I want to kill the bow users. I want to kill this one in particular so that I can create a safe area for Khalil. And I think I will leave Marcia down here to continue to distract these guys, rather than having them advance towards the rest of my units who will get slaughtered, no doubt. Yeah, this doesn't seem like a bad move. Well, it's kind of a bad move, but I sort of have to do it. Because I'm going to clear the way for Stefan to go up through the middle and block off one of the sides. Hit points, defense, resistance, okay. Yeah, I could definitely do for a more beefy Astrid. Can't complain about that at all. No, I just gotta stay out of range of these guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, boom. So right there. A sheer staff, fortified staff, whatever. Same difference, really. And on this side, I really just need to stay out of range of the dragon, which is really easy to do. I'm gonna equip the Vegkati once more. Nasir is going to be in action on the next turn. Or Bastion, rather. Does okay right here. I can weaken this one. Did I just get corrosion on a feral one? How does that even make sense? Either way, Jill's going to be able to clean up this kill. I should have turned on the freaking Blizzard Rage, because she will get wrecked. She should be good right there. This guy didn't move, which is interesting. It's very interesting. Although he can still target Stefan. I guess there's that to consider. How does Nephany do? Not very well. If only she would have had a better weapon rank. If only she would have a better weapon rank. She would be so much better. Same with Braum, really. If only they had A weapons. 28. 23, so she deals 5. Well, this isn't exactly what I wanted to do, but we can still kill all of the cats, which is something that I absolutely have to get done this turn no matter what. It's not ideal that I have to throw Nasir out there like that. He's very exposed and all, but in a way it's almost kind of to my benefit. Because if he gets targeted here on this turn, he's going to build up his own Laguz gauge. Thankfully, we are able to connect with both Braum and Nephany, though, so I can take out this cat to the right with Ike and send him up that way instead. I was going to send him up the left-hand side because, again, I need to draw Ashnard as soon as possible. I'm not really playing around with this at this point. I almost want to leave Oscar out of this situation just so that Ike will go Wrath Resolve mode. 124. Yeah, he should have about a 50% shot, but how much power did he have? He had 30. Ike only takes 4 damage. Wow. But if I take 21 here, yeah, that'll put him in range, and he will actually be just about as healthy as he could possibly be while still being in Wrath Resolve range, so I'm just going to let him get hit this turn, hopefully. We'll hang back with Oscar. Turn on the cat. Well, the cat's going to reach me no matter what, really. This cat, though, we want him on. Oh, actually, no. This is a safe spot for Soren. We can move Soren here. Ah, but I can't reach Stefan from there, and I need to heal Stefan. So we're going to have to connect on that cat with Soren, otherwise Soren will get doubled and die. And that is no good. Then with Miss, well, we're going to level up, first of all. Skill res. I will take it. You know, I guess it doesn't matter. I was going to say I can trade Astrid to the Steel Axe. But really doesn't even matter, because if I do that, then he's just going to attack me at 2 range. What's Stefan at? Well, I guess it doesn't really matter. If Stefan gets hit, he's probably screwed. So I guess we will just trade over. Oh, of course, I have to heal Khalil. I have to heal Khalil. So we're going to heal her up. And from there, we just need to not get crit. And also, Stefan's in a really bad spot, I'm not going to lie. Titania dodges. If Stefan would dodge this, that would be sweet. Nice. So I think we're okay as long as he doesn't get a critical hit. One of those snipers had a killer bow, so he could very easily get crit. Also, Marcia is not exactly invulnerable here, although she should be okay. Again, it works out in my favor most of the time. Okay, nice one, Soren. Nice. I feel like that might have been a little bit sketched just because Soren does not have the greatest accuracy in the world, but... Okay, here we go. The Wombo combo. Come on, you can do better than that, Ike. Wrath Resolve. Boom! It begins. It begins, folks. And I can also take out that general as well. The only thing that would be better is if Resolve also increased your defense. Now that would be sweet. Somebody on Intelligent Systems, get on this. These are the ideas that sell games, trust me. Okay, Astrid's gonna dodge, sweet. Now as long as Stefan does not eat a Killer Bow crit, which he honestly might, because he's Stefan and has 8 luck. Okay, good. He would have survived, actually. He wouldn't have survived that. Alright, things are looking up. Things are definitely looking up. This should be the worst of it. Although Marcia could still die. If she dies here, man. No, they're going to attack Nasir, which is what I was hoping. I was definitely hoping for that. He still has really, really good defense. You have to keep in mind. I don't think Marcia can die anymore. I don't think she can. In fact, I know she can. She takes 13 and then she takes like 15, so she lives. Just needed one dodge and all of that. Let's see it. Yeah, she's actually whooping ass. Let's not front here. She is whooping ass. She is whooping ass. Oh my lord, Marcia. Please don't hurt them like this. Anything but this. Anything but this. Oh gosh, I've never seen a unit be so consistently good throughout the entire game. There goes my spear though, unfortunately. I should keep the pain coming though. Resolve Wrath, goodbye. Casually one-shotting a general. Casually one-shotting a general. And here come these frickin' Wyvern Lords or whatever they are. This is gonna suck because Titania's never going to be able to retaliate. And if things go horribly, horribly wrong, she could die. She shouldn't. It's not very likely, especially on the next turn when I move her onto a thicket and she gets an extra 10 defense. Or not defense, God, I wish. 10 evasion. But it's not very likely that she dies here at all. She has soul, as we see there. And on top of that, I'm going to probably start spamming both the Fortify as well as the Ashira Staff. And there aren't too many healers on this map, believe it or not. There's one guy with a Fortify who is right by Bryce, who is actually on this map. He wasn't just saying in the cutscene that he was going to protect Ashnard. No, he's really here. Oh, God, what? 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 What's going on, everybody? It is Deltray speaking to you from the future. So at this point, I got pretty much fed up with trying to play this legitimately. And I decided to essentially go full-on conquest at this point. I'm sorry if that disappoints you, but I think by now it's pretty clear that this is not really the game, or the mode I should say, for me. There's nothing wrong if Path of Radiance is your favorite game, gameplay-wise. I'm not going to hold that against you. I'm not going to discredit your opinion on that. But for me, I don't really feel like I mesh very well with this whole Maniac mode thing at this point. I just want to get on with it. I want to get on with the story. So I cheese the map. I still show off the dialogue as well as the boss themes and the animations and whatnot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut to showing those bits. And I'll try to provide some context for those storyline segments as well. And then I will show the full... Well, I say full. I will show the 2 turns that it takes for me to beat the final map. And I will explain some of my thoughts more in depth then, as quickly as I possibly can. I remember that stance well. So your father taught your swordplay, did he? How very happy that makes me. Mad King Ashnard, I will cut you down with this blade and end your reign of terror. You cutting me down? Good. If you possess the strength to do so, then so be it. That process is the principle on which my ideal world operates. What are you talking about? Good God, man, this music is badass. Whoa. Okay, so this requires a little bit of explanation. If you're playing on normal mode or below, the map ends right there. But if you're playing on hard mode or above, Ashnard has a second form. Do you think you can defeat me? Why do they always scream? Every time. It's not over yet. I haven't seen all you're capable of. What are you doing? And now is the time to use this. No, you blind, stupid fool. Oh, the humanity. Is it going to explain what he's doing, or what? Ooh, that's cool. I like that. Ah, yes, it is. So what he's doing is he's touching the medallion. And as we heard before, that's enough to drive really just about anybody insane, let alone Ashnard, who's already batshit crazy. So yes, it's time for round 2. If only he could attack me right now. Flee! Get away, everyone! Okay, he's devolved into saying one word. It feels so good! He's touching the medallion, but he's still sane. I don't know if I would call that sane. No. He's lost it. Ike, we can't win like this. Call one of the battalion commanders. Do it now! And then you get a choice between Tabar, Nesala, or Gifka. It doesn't really matter who I choose. It doesn't really matter who I choose because I'm doing things this way. I don't care. Let's call Nesala because I feel like he would be the last one to want to help out here. I have arrived. What is that thing? So, Ashnard tried to use the medallion, did he? Fool. Not a man of many words, huh? That almost doesn't matter, though, because Gifka is friggin' stacked out of his mind. Look at this. He starts as a level 20, max level lion. So he's a unique class in that regard. At least for this game. I imagine Kanegas would also be a lion, but you don't get him in this game, so I have no idea, to be honest. But what I do know is that he has 40 strength and 28 speed, so he's incredibly fast, incredibly strong. He does have growth rates, but they really just don't matter at all. I'll put them up. In fact, they're probably already up, just because I'm sure some people are curious. But it's totally irrelevant. This is as good as he's gonna get, although if you were to kill Bryce, there is a speed wing on this map. They put a speed wing here, I guess, in case that you need to raise your speed or something like that, just so that you have a better chance with Ashnard, but really it doesn't matter all that much. I don't think that the speed wing really helps. Not all that much. Also, before I kill Ashnard, these are his final stats. He is pretty scary, but the problem is that he still gets one-rounded by Wrath Resolve Ike. If you're doing this with Aether Ike, more power to you, I guess. On one hand, you're not going to kill him nearly as fast, but on the other hand, you would have the chance to get Aether, obviously, and then restore your health so you can last longer regardless. So it's really just a matter of pick your poison, right? Me, I'm definitely a Wrath Resolve kind of guy. Absolutely. He has Renewal and Dawn still. That didn't change. Same skills that he's always had. He's just a hell of a lot scarier. Look at that. 60 attack power. 60 attack power. That's wild, man. That's wild. Sorry to have kept you waiting. Is that King Dayin? He's become a monster. The medallion's chaotic energy is overflowing from his body. No matter, leave him to me. I promise you this, Ashnard will fall at my hands. And ordinarily, there's a pretty good chance of that, because you already know, coming up second, we have our boy, Sabarn. Love this guy. Love this guy. He's exactly the same as he was in the last map, however, so there's nothing really new here. I would say he's probably the second best character to choose in this situation if you're playing this in the normal way. He actually has growths as well, and they're off the charts, so let's look at him real quick in case you somehow leveled him up twice. I don't know how you'd do it. I don't know how you would do it because he only shows up in the second half of the fight if you're playing on hard mode or above. But if you did somehow level him up, here's his growth. He has 145 hit points, 70% strength, 5% magic, 70% skill. Oh, excuse me. 65% speed, 50% luck, 60% defense, 25% resistance. What else do I really have to say about this guy? He's the same as he's been in every one of his guest appearances. And he's so good. He's so very good. Yeah, I'm here. What's everyone so worked up about? Holy God, it's above. Is that thing King Dayin? He's a monster. Why did you call me? Wait, you want me to fight that? Are you insane? No, Nisella, this is just what you deserve. I think you've got the wrong bird. Blast. This is gonna get worse before it gets better. Okay, we're really doing this up. And last, or maybe I'm showing this first. I honestly have no idea. But the third choice we have is Nisella, who is probably the worst unit to choose in this final section. He's the weakest by a pretty considerable amount, although he is actually fast enough to double Ashnard, so that's something I guess. It doesn't really matter though, because he's only dealing 4 times 2, I think. Let's see, he has 39 attack, Ashnard, yeah, he only deals 8 damage total. So he's probably the weakest candidate. Even Tabard's better. Even Tabard's better off, although Tabard does not double. Nisella is also the lowest level of all the Laguz Royals, which is something I found kind of interesting. It really suits him. He's not nearly as much of a fighter, although he's really powerful and whatnot. You can tell just by that little detail that he's really supposed to be more of a pragmatic, cunning sort of guy, you know? Not necessarily relying solely on his brawn, but also relying on his wits as well. So that's a nice little detail, I guess. He also has growth rates. He has 135 hit points, 60% strength, 40% magic, believe it or not, 70% skills, 75% speed, 20% luck, 55% defense, and 35% resistance. He's basically the same, if not outright identical, to when we fought him. I don't remember what chapter it is off the top of my head, but he also has the same skills. He has... excuse me. Actually, I don't think he had Vantage, did he? Well, now he has Vantage, and he also has Tear, I think it's called, which is essentially a wind spell, which could have been cool and everything, but he only has 17 magic, and honestly, I can't think of any solid use for that. The only reason you would want to bring Nisella for this fight is to make him pay for being a deuce throughout the entire adventure. That's probably the most satisfaction you'll get out of using him, although I do like Nisella. And last, let's talk about what's going on in this upper half of the map, since I didn't really get a good chance to do that since I got gimped really early on. So, your first boss of the day is going to be Bryce, who is probably not too problematic, I would say. He does have the Wishblade, which is the S-rank lance for this game. Very powerful, very accurate, and of course it has 1 to 2 range. You can't actually get your hands on it, so don't get any funny ideas about that. He drops the speed wing, which I think I mentioned, but you're not really using that. I mean, you could use it. I think Nasir might appreciate it. Shoot, how much speed does Ashnard have when he transforms? I want to say that if you use the speed wing on Nasir, and you've also given him resolve, that it'll let you double Ashnard. So there's that, but I think he might be able to do it even without the speed wing. I honestly can't remember what Ashnard's stats are off the top of my head. In the first form, though, let's just go ahead and get to Ashnard, I suppose. In the first form, though, he's already a complete monster. 55 attack, 60 HP, 35 defense, so he's basically a dragon. He's basically a dragon, but he also has the Gurgurant, which is ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. 20 power, 90% accurate, 1 to 2 range. A mighty sword that only Ashnard, King of Dayan, can wield. Don't ask me how that works. As far as final bosses go, he's pretty scary, I guess. No, I guess just for the hell of it. He also has A rank and lances, or A rank and axes, I mean, as if he wasn't scary enough. Since you can see most of his stats for yourself, I thought I would give you a little bit of interesting trivia. Ashnard actually has a support with Petrine. Yeah, Ashnard has a support with Petrine. Go figure. I think he blocks criticals from connecting to her, if ever there were an instance where they would be next to each other. I suppose that would be for the trial mode that you unlock after this, but I'm getting way sidetracked here. So he already has really scary stats, as you can see, but the thing that makes him... What's the word I'm looking for? The thing that makes his stats almost not matter is the fact that you can only take him on with Ike Nasir and the Laguz Royals anyways, all of which have insane stats. And now you can't actually get the Laguz Royals to fight this first form Ashnard if you're playing on hard mode or above, but if you're playing on normal mode or below, the Laguz Royals will actually join you on the first turn as opposed to making you wait until after you defeat the first form. So they can definitely do some damage here, and I think some of the dialogue will actually change depending on which form you're fighting with, so you can only get certain dialogue with the likes of Naysala, Tibar, and etc. You can only get certain dialogue with them on lower difficulties, ironically enough, because you won't be able to make them fight this form. If they could, though, they'd tear him a new ass, for sure. Oh yeah, make no mistake. Not really too much to add about this form. He has 2 skills. He has Renewal and Daunt. Meh. Not really all that scary for a final boss, I'll be honest, but thankfully I will definitely take that over something like Colossus or some other random RNG bullshit. And then of course there's this whole northern area. I think we already talked about the Wyverns all have 1 to 2 range. Dragons, scary as ever. I mean, look at those stats. Look at those stats. He's actually stronger than Ashnard. He has 41 strength to Ashnard's 35. That's crazy. That's crazy, dude. Wow. Wow. These guys are scary. I'm glad I did things the way that I did. Good lord. So those guys are all really nasty. There's sword masters with rune swords, which is horrifying. Silver blades. All of them have max speed or just about at this point. Killing edges to go around. There was a brave sword somewhere. I know there was. Where are you? Where are you hiding, bud? Was he on this side? Maybe he was a paladin. Oh, no. I was thinking of this paladin with the brave sword. And of course, 2 short axes. The cats are getting kind of scary. 24 speed is not really playing around. It's going to be really hard for your paladins to double or do much of anything, to be honest. 23, 22. So really, unfortunately, the game really doesn't want you to use anybody. It doesn't really want you to use anybody but Ike, clearly, from the way they designed this. Otherwise, you would actually be able to deal damage to some of these enemies with other units. But it doesn't really feel like that's what they wanted. Just the way it's designed, it doesn't really feel like that's what they wanted. Or if they did want that, then they shouldn't have designed it like this. I mean, good lord. Sure, I could take all day to do this map. It's definitely an option. Just like you can beat Endgame Conquest on Lunatic without rescue skipping. You can absolutely do it. It's 100% possible, but like, why would you? So I hope you kind of understand that that's where I'm at. And that's what kind of led to this whole 2-turn cheese. So if that bothers you, well, sorry. Don't know what else to tell you, really. I just don't think that this endgame was very well designed, to be perfectly honest. Now let's actually play the map and go over that. Okay, guys, there's really not a whole lot to explain with this one. It's just a really simple rescue skip, honestly. I'm gonna have Marcia take like all the way to the north in one single turn, have her draw in Ashnard, taking advantage of the fact that he is actually a mobile boss, and from there the map is essentially over. Once Ike hits resolve range, he has just about the same amount of evasion that he would have while in range of Oscar support. So to put that into context, the final boss of the game, Ashnard, has about a 40% chance to hit Ike. He has about a 40% chance to hit Ike. The chances of Ike dying here are not the problem. In fact, I lost more runs to Ike dodging Ashnard's attack and failing to get into resolve range than I did actually having Ike die. But aside from that, there's really not a whole lot to add here. We're just going to be watching enemy phase. Enemy phase. Lots and lots of enemy phase. So, what I thought I would do instead is talk about Ashnard. I actually ended up talking about this in the next part that will be up eventually. But I felt it fit better here. So through the power of editing, we're going to move that whole dialogue into this part instead. And just so there are no surprises about this, I don't really like Ashnard. And yes, I will go back and show what each of the Laguz Royals can do. And I'm also probably going to do one extra bonus little thing where I show off all of Ashnard's, like, how many conversations does he have? 10, 20? He has a considerable number of special conversations. The problem, of course, is that none of the people he talks to besides Ike and the Laguz Royals and Nasir and Nina can actually damage him. And as you may have noticed, we still, to this very moment, have no idea what it is Ashnard's actually trying to do. And he's dead. Yeah, he's really dead. Like, there's no surprise third form to this fight. No, that's the end of him. He's done. So, all in all, we have a villain who we know next to nothing about, whose motivations make no sense, who, in my opinion, from a gameplay standpoint, doesn't have a particularly good map. God, Ashnard is just really not a good villain. He's just really not a good villain. On top of that, you have the fact that only Ike, the Laguz Royals, Ina/Nasir can even hurt the guy. So you're put in a situation where you have to use certain units even to have a chance. And, I mean, that I'm okay with, I suppose, but if you really wanted to have Elincia get her revenge in a sort of poetic way, you can't do that because Elincia can't hurt her, or can't hurt him. Ashnard does next to nothing throughout the entire plotline. Come to think of it, you could have just made the Black Knight into the villain and basically nothing would change. Honest to God, really nothing would change. They're both supposed to be invincible sword fighters with insane power, only at least the Black Knight has some sort of... He has a presence to him. He has a presence to him. Ashnard really kind of lacks that. There's really no good reason that I feel like kicking his ass. You know what I mean? I don't feel like I want to go out and beat this guy in the same way that I want to go out and beat the Black Knight, because Ashnard doesn't do a goddamn thing throughout the entire story. The only thing he does is before the adventure even begins, where he kidnaps Lilia. So it's like, what's my motivation here? Yeah, he took over Crimea, but I don't know why he did it. For all I know, for all the game is willing to tell me, he could have perfectly noble reasons. He could be a better king than anybody who had ruled Crimea in the last dozen centuries, for all we know, because the game doesn't tell you anything. Now, I will give you that he's entertaining, at the very least. He definitely does the insane thing well, or not even well necessarily, in an entertaining way, but that's more due to the fact that people who do have a little bit more character to them, and that's really the ultimate issue I have with this. Ashnard really doesn't have a character to him other than a mad king. Even when he's being entertaining, it's more that other characters who are more interesting than him are being entertaining, if that makes sense. It's more the interactions that he has with other characters that gives him any kind of presence at all. For example, the tension between him and the Black Knight. That's an interesting dynamic. Doesn't really get explored too much, but it wouldn't work without the Black Knight. You know what I mean? Patrine being terrified of this guy. Okay? That's an interesting dynamic, but that wouldn't work without Patrine, who we already know to be sort of this cold-hearted character. So to see her shaking in her boots is interesting because we already have her as an established character, not because it makes Ashnard Mr. Badass. And he's not. He gets one shot by Ike. You guys were dead right. He gets actually one shot by Ike in his first form. In his second form, barely has a 50-50 shot to even hit. It's, ugh. Ashnard is bad. Ashnard is bad, guys. The story in this game is great all around. The writing is fantastic all around. And that's something that Ashnard, at the very least, has to fall back on. The writing of his dialogue is good. But damn if he's not a weak villain. You can't sugarcoat this, guys. He's really, ugh. I don't like him. I don't like him. Goodbye. We're done here, folks. That's gonna be the fall of Ashnard right there. All it took was Ike, and that's it. That's really all it took. If you think that was lame, well, I apologize. I don't know what else to tell you, though. I don't really see this as any different than not warp skipping, but rescue skipping through the last map of Conquest. It's really the same thing. I don't want to play this map. I'll be perfectly honest. I don't want to play this map. I have lots of reasons. I will elaborate on those reasons at a later point, but let's get on with the story. Excellent. Excellent. So good. More, I say. Hurt me more, Snake. At this time of ascension, it's not enough. Not enough. And he goes down in like 2 turns. God, you know, I was gonna play fair too. I was gonna do this map the fair way. I thought to myself, okay, it can't be that bad. And then Stefan got Astrid. And that was about all I could take. And just for the record, no, this didn't take very long at all. This took like... Actually, come to think of it, I beat it on the first time, but Marcia died, and I couldn't really accept that, obviously. So, I don't know, about 5 minutes, 10 minutes of resetting later, here we are. It doesn't really say a whole lot to your endgame design when I can spend the majority of the endgame on my phone, or responding to YouTube comments, or doing anything but really paying attention to the map. Just throwing that out there. Now, it is truly over.